Lawyer for the United Workers' Party, Don Christopher, is dismissing claims that a case filed by former Prime Minister Edison James and journalist Lennox Linton against Frankie Bellot, proprietor of Kairifm, Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan, and Government Information Officer Mervyn Paul has been thrown out of court. According to Christopher, the claimants were granted leave to file and serve a fresh statement of claim.
I have the order in front of me, and it says the claimants are granted leave to file and serve a fresh statement of claim, right? So how can it be thrown out and they have been granted leave to file a fresh statement of claim? So the defendants asked to strike up a lot of passages, and there were so many passages to be struck off that all the judge said, well, to start afresh. All right? The case has not been lost on its merits. All the judge has said is to start afresh again. So if you dismiss a case, then you cannot come back. But we can come back.
Lawyer for the United Workers' Party, Don Christopher. Meantime, Frankie Bellot says the court matter was not genuine, but strictly political.
And I always thought it was a waste of my time anyway, baseless case, because you can't tell me the same talk shows and the same calling and the same allegations they use on everybody else. Nobody else can say nothing about them. They sue. So basically, it was just a waste of everybody's time. You know, people know the nature of the politics in Dominica. They play it, we play it, and that's why I have the problem. They want to play the same game like everybody else and then want to be vexed when you throw it back on them. But all in all, everything turned out to the best for everybody. Everybody used media houses to run them out. That's it. Remember, this thing started on Q95, you know, not Kyrie. You understand? It's Matt and Tony that had the discussion about this thing. It was just repeated.
Bellot says while this is a great day for his company, his focus has changed over the past months.
But it's a great, I feel good. I mean, I always knew it was, like I said, I always knew it was a waste of time. And we all Dominicans know that everybody is politics, every man playing. And that's why you see Showman right now and I down low trying to focus on, you know, pay my bills. Basically, that's why it is, because I realize that type of politics are going on in Dominica, not taking anybody anywhere. It's just that it's making good people turn bad and people turn against each other unnecessarily and getting enemies, unnecessary enemies. So, I will exercise my right to vote or support any party I want. But getting involved in this name calling and so-called politicking and arguing and accusing, and I don't have time for that really. Right now, it's all about, you know, paying the bills.
Meantime, Anthony Astafan has described the matter as an abuse of the process of the court and has not been thrown out of the court. And I quote, the judge agreed with us and threw it out entirely. And of course, she ordered the statement of claim and the reply filed by Mr. Linton and Mr. James be struck out in its entirety, and that they pay U.S. costs to be assessed and or agreed. Astafan also disclosed that the judge also gave Linton and James the go-ahead to file a new case against Astafan, Bellot, and Paul, if so desired. Tourism Minister Ian Douglas says the National Community Tourism Association should serve as the rallying point for all players in the industry. Douglas told the official luncheon of the National Community Tourism Association for Dominica that stakeholders must continue to encourage the need to protect the environment.
The association must be about working with the various state agencies, the Ministry of Tourism, the Discover Dominica Authority, the Forestry, Environmental Health, Solid Waste, because no matter what we do, no matter how much money Mr. Piper and Discover Dominica spends to market Dominica and go to how many trade shows, if we continue to litter, if we continue to pay no attention to the environment, then Dominica would not be the kind of Garden of Eden, the nature island of the world that we want it to be, and we'll be shooting ourselves in the foot. So we must collaborate with other state agencies. Even community development, Ministry of Education, our students in our schools need to understand that they need to protect the environment for future generations. And we must drill it into their heads. They must know they can't just wantonly go about littering their popcorn bags and their plastics, their ice pops and their mint papers, throwing it out of out of the vehicle garbage, you eat a ripe banana and you throw it on the street. That kind of attitude must stop. We must stamp it out as persons in the tourism industry, because when they do those things, they are jeopardizing our livelihoods that we depend on to feed our children, to pay our loans, to send them to school, to put food on our table. So we ourselves must push the need to protect our environment.
He says the stakeholders should work together to improve the standard and quality of community-based tourism initiatives.
It must be about building synergies between and among its members. It must be proactive in getting things done. You must get things done together to improve the overall standard and quality of community-based tourism initiatives, as well as with all of your membership. So as we celebrate today's launching, let's do so in the hope of a new and higher spirit of excellence and enterprise. Let us celebrate the many years of struggle in shaping this tourism ethos, in building a model that is now being emulated in various parts of the region, although they have less natural attributes than we do.
Tourism Minister Ian Douglas. A local farmer says the time has come for the implementation of a general policy on agriculture. Rudy Joseph says Dominica's agricultural system needs to be revised. His comment comes after statements by the president of the Dominica Hucksters Association that the Dominican hucksters are faced with a number of challenges.
The president of the Dominica Hucksters Association mentioned that things are very difficult for the hucksters at this time, in that the hucksters can only get about 50% of the agricultural produce that they were getting from the farmers. Okay, this is what he said. Now, what I'm saying is this. If the hucksters cannot get agricultural produce, it means that the farmers do not have the agricultural produce to sell to the hucksters, which would mean that the investment that the farmers put into that a year ago or so, they've lost that investment. So it is important that somebody looks at that situation and looks at how drastic that the drought has been. And if there is need for some sort of financial compensation for the farmers, something should be done about that, because the hucksters cannot get the produce that the farmers were supposed to be giving them, which means the farmers do not have the produce. I think we should have a general policy on agriculture. I think the time has come for us to invest a certain amount of money, quite some, into agriculture, get some people on the field, see what is being planted, make sure that we do everything. Because the situation that we have in Dominica is we talk a lot about agriculture, but not even extension officers visit us on the field. I mean, it is sad that after hurricanes that we have to wonder who has what planted.
Local farmer Rudy Joseph.